Hey everybody, this is DayTraderRockStar, and this is the high probability watch list, market radar, and an awesome video in itself. There's so much I want to talk about. It is Friday, late afternoon, going into evening, almost 6 o'clock, and I've been trading all day. Normally during the day, I'm actually doing my research and doing my scans, but today I was just I was actually very involved in some futures trading. And just looking for opportunities and following this market, really not taking my eyes off the market pretty much, and interacting a lot in the chat room and really blasting up to Twitter and just doing a lot of stuff today. So this was an interesting market. I mean, the market did pull back down today, but let's forget looking at that bigger picture, because that bigger picture is a very easy picture to figure out, and it's very easy to see why the market pulled back today. All right, so I don't even know where to begin because there's so much I have to go over with you. But let's just talk about today's pullback. Let's talk about yesterday's rally. Let's talk about the markets right now. So we're going to look at the S&P 500. The time frame we've been concentrating on, the 60-minute time frame. The daily has been oversold, just like it's been overbought here. It really becomes ineffective once it gets down to that level. You're either expecting that move or you're not expecting that move. You're going to get embedded. But really, that's going to happen more on a shorter time frame. So we really switched over to the shorter time frame in this time. And what happened was we had this was one of what we call an HPS pattern. And an HPS pattern is a high probability pattern. And there's about 6 of them that I like to trade in the markets. They're all listed on the dashboard. If you go on the top of the dashboard, you're going to see a place that says Playbook Plays. Also in the forum, you could see it. And it's my educational videos breaking these scenarios down for you, showing you how they set up, what they're expected to do, and how to trade them. So this was just a textbook pattern. I loved the setup here. I went into this knowing that this pattern had a really good shot of breaking out. But we also try to discuss all the time. We have to understand that a move on a 60-minute time frame represents a breakthrough here in a full rotation. And wherever that price is where that price should be. It's not, wow, it didn't go that far, or that's not really, what? It went as far as this was telling you, and this is exactly what you want to see. You want to see this always react, get overbought, pull back and stuff. So we got overbought. And I remember at the end of the day yesterday, I was a little concerned about that. But in either case, the daily here was set up here on a bigger picture. So I am looking, as this pattern to break back up. And you know what? Take a look at today's action. It wasn't the worst. I mean, now we break this thing down. We understand that the 60-minute time frame, we had some downside. You could feel that weakness today. So we go back to the futures trade and we start to analyze the trade. We see right off the open, we really establish a big downward channel here, and so I started picking up the trades off of this. I ended up taking this trade here. It came down to an FT71 profile line. It was a support pivot, and it was underlying trend line. Basically, we probably dipped this. Let me fix this a little here. Remember, we have a pivot here and a pivot here, and I'm just throwing these in fast. As we get down here, and I have what I called my triple threat setting up here. I have everything. So this was a great setup, and again, very hard to get the perfect price. I think my price was, if I look at it, I sent, I think I posted this in the room too, but whatever it was, I tweeted it too. Let me see if I can find it on my screen somewhere. Oh, man. Oh, let me pause. Oh, there it is, right there. It's right underneath me. Anyway, so that was the first long that came in. That was the first long, and that came in a little after 11 o'clock. I think it was right around 11 o'clock, and we got 2 points on it. And then I think I got back in. I was double thinking myself. I was going to get back in, look for a little further pop. But then realizing, hey, you know what? That fast stochastic is my scalping tool. That's what I rely on to get in and out. So why am I going to take that on? So I ended up getting in and getting out, scratching it for nothing going on. And then the 11:30 trade. So we were in this one for a little pop. It says here I had I don't know what I got in on that one. It says I was down 37 on that. I could have swore I was up on that one. Anyway, the one right after this one was the divergence. So I think we got this one Thought I had a profit on this. It dipped back down. We got out, and for whatever reason, we got out. And what happened was we were looking for that lower low, and it was good because I was actually doing a video on this. I sent a video on this, and this was a setup I really wanted to see play out because we had this nice rotation on the fast stochastic, and we're very close to the lows. We're in the steep channel, and this would be the situation inside a channel where I look for a lane divergence. That's a 1-2 combination. So when you have a steep channel like this, and you're trying to identify when that channel is going to break back up to the upside, or you're going to come out of that channel, a lane divergence will be one of those great signals for that. And I normally see lane divergences, and this type of divergence, I call it the lane in honor of George Lane, how he meant for this divergence to play out. And this has just been key for me. It's been a killer. So this is actually my number one go-to trade, and we took this, and it was a nice trade. Then I got back in it, I think, because whenever I get into a trade and I see a lane divergence, I always take that first 50% retracement. And at this point, I think I was just on my own here trading. I don't know where the thing is here. Oh, here it is. All right, so that was a little after 12 o'clock there, 12:05. It looks like that long there. So we got a point and a quarter, 5 ticks on that. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. And then I think there was a short up here. Looks like at 2:37. I think that was over here actually. Yeah, it was over here at one point. And again, it was a dual stochastic setup. I don't know why I actually took this short. I felt like we were going to break down, and get to the lower channel here. I think that was just it. So anyway, it was a fast trade, and I think there was 2.25 points off of that. That might have been a tradeometer setup too. But anyway, that's just going reviewing that each one of these setups have been kind of taken because of a certain setup, and that's what I want to really stick to going forward on the ES. I mean, I want to trade the ES as much as I can. I love trading it. It's just I would rather just trade these certain areas that are setting up, And just one more thing, take a look at the that 5-minute chart. That 5-minute chart actually, we go back here, start off with the 60. You can see the rotation back here and that bump at the end of the day, which kind of squeezed out. But now if we go to that 5-minute chart, you can actually see there's a slight divergence here. A little higher low on the stochastics, a lower low here on the price, and from that point on we kind of popped up here. So that leads us going into Monday, Tuesday. Again, short-term stochastics played out perfectly. Usually you get a fast rotation off of a coil, that first move back up, and then it gets into a rhythm. This is a little bit harder, to call. It didn't get the crossover. I've seen it so many times flatline and it's drop off. So, I'd rather just continue to nail the short-term setups. So going into next week, even though it looks like the daily setup, the 60 looks like it's turning back up. Even if we do, kind of get some more weakness coming into the market, you're going to see these setups here are going to actually work out fine. So let's start off now. What's the next thing I wanted to talk about? All right, so looking at this pattern. Again, just last look here, and then we're going to just try and do a little experiment here. But the S&P here looks like that pullback, a standard pullback with the oversold level. Again, I've talked about this the last few videos, and even on the show, that this setup here historically has worked out every single time. So every time you go back and you're oversold on your stochastics and you get this, and you get a reversal candle, which it looked like we started to have one yesterday. So we still can, consider this a consolidation day and a follow through. But every one of these situations going back for the last year where we got oversold, and we had this type of pullback, we got hit with a nice candle, we started rotating back up, and the market continued. Now that's just looking at some statistics here and what tends to move this market. So we were looking for that sign. Yesterday we did get it, and did it come right out of a perfect channel? Yes, it did. It came out of this textbook HPS setup. So I mean, it's kind of great to be able to identify the opportunity for that to happen. But now we get a little bit harder because that pattern's now played out. And is there a bigger pattern? The bigger pattern seems to be a little bit harder to predict at this point. Because this is easy. I think that was a nice call, and even overbought back down to oversold. But now things can get choppy again. So it's about being able to say, all right, that's the trade I'm waiting for. This is what I'm going to wait for over here. Right now I'm not sure exactly, so I'm going to play it on a tighter time frame and look for those individual scalps. and wait for my big setups to come along. All right, so let's talk about stocks then. Got a lot to go over here. All right. During the show, during the video, I think I put out a video, or I put out a post in the room. I was talking about a few stocks that were setting up as 60-minute divergences. A lot of them were in the oil and gas sector, which is kind of a dangerous sector to be in. But this is a type of environment that gives us a good look at the divergences, because you could actually see the flushes in the price. They're more exaggerated. It's easier to see the comparisons between the stochastics and the divergences that are playing out. It's just a much clearer view of them, and they happen more. So it's just it's actually a good time to start looking for these. And ExxonMobil was one of the stocks that I noticed it in, and this was one I was interested in. I started a small position in this, and it's been drifting here a little, but I know I'm in the right area. But today, when we gapped down, I noticed that we didn't really budge here in the stochastic. So I noticed that throughout the day, and I sort of started to move back up. And I thought that was a very good sign right there. It's not, definitely a hard stock. But if we look back at the daily candlestick now, that's a pretty nice candlestick. That's a nice candle that, comes into existence, typically at, pivot areas. So that's definitely something that's interesting. And you can see how the thing ramped up here at the close. It was a nice reversal. Closed pretty much right at the highs, chopping around there pre-market or post-market here. But it has to prove itself. I like it down here. I like that we flushed out of the lows. We have that reversal candle. Everything here normally is the thing, but oil is such in the eye of the world right now, and there's so much negativity out on it. Very, very tough counter trend trade and counter opinion trade there. I don't think too many people think oil stocks are that great right now. Then I was looking at, let's see here. What's this one? ERX? Oh, it was ERX, which was Energy Bolt. Let's see here, 60-minute chart. It started to look like something to me. If I could zoom out here, you could actually see there's a slight divergence there. Not as much as I anticipated earlier. So that's not, exactly a good one there. So I'm going to pass on that for now. And then Alexion, just a couple before we start to go into watch list. Watch list is going to be a separate video. So just this kind of a thing I always put out. ALXN, it's pulled back here. It's a retracement. This kind of have a coiled breakout, and then your first retrace. Not fully oversold yet, but there's always interest in that. And the new ones we're going to get into this week. There's two good flags out there. I'll just throw them out to you. PSX, very nice. Phillips 66, very nice flag. And the SOX, the semiconductor index. That's a pretty nice flag there in itself. All right. So we have some stocks on the current HPS watch list are still active. We're going to start off with those, and we're going to start off by saying goodbye here. And if you're interested in more coverage of the individual watch list, please visit DayTradingRadio.com. All right, or watch us every day, because things are going to be heating up next week. It's going to be heating up. All right, I'll talk to you.